Born in the cloud, never before possible enterprise email marketing with direct access to customer data. Industry leaders say it's what's next in email marketing platforms, a hybrid solution with advanced technology that runs partly on-premise and connects directly to a company's database with secure access to all marketing data. However, the assembly, delivery, and tracking is performed by a cloud-based delivery system. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, July 1st, 2014, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. Up to the Tech Talk, the future of email marketing, and the big data challenges faced by IT professionals and marketers within enterprise organizations today. We speak with Dan Roy, co-founder and CEO of MessageGears, a Tag Top 40 innovative company in Georgia. Dan guides the company's product strategy and corporate development. He previously served as CTO of AccuCast, a pioneer in the email marketing space with client brands like Walmart and Travelocity and Bank of America. Dan also spent 5 years at Delta Airlines, where he was instrumental in building its award-winning website and e-commerce platform. Join us now in an insightful look into the ever-growing, more critical importance of data needed by today's digital marketers and the challenges faced in the digital economy of the future with existing email solutions that can no longer contain the massive, constantly changing real-time analytics. Explore with us now what experts are calling a revolutionary hybrid, which combines powerful on-premise software with a massively scalable cloud-based delivery system. The Tech Talk says you've got more than email. It's disruptive enterprise email marketing, and it's here now, and it's revolutionizing data-driven marketing industry. Find out more as we speak with co-founder and CEO of MessageGears, Dan Roy. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Dan, welcome to Tech Talk.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Really great opportunity, not only someone that's involved in an industry right now, but someone that has such an extensive background and has dealt with it for over a number of years, watching it evolve. And basically I'm talking about data-driven marketing industry, specifically big data as it's impacting email marketing. Let's talk a little bit about that from your perspective, big data, challenges faced by IT professionals and marketers within the organization today. What would you say are some of those challenges?
Yeah, organizations are collecting more and more data all the time, and the challenge now is how do I use that data effectively? So a lot of the tools that marketers are using today are just not well equipped to handle massive amounts of data. So that's what we address with our solution here at MessageGears.
Well, make that a little more granular for us. I mean, obviously we know and understand the large amounts of data. I know one of the areas that you've got a tremendous amount of experience is in the travel industry. What would be some of the things that a more robust, say, on-premise capability would allow?
Well, what we do with our hybrid solution is we put part of the application on-premise where the data already resides, but we leave the heavy lifting of email delivery and click tracking and analytics in the cloud. And that's unique in the space. And what that does, it allows the marketer, our customers, to connect directly to their own data sources. And if you're a big company, you're a big airline, you've got massive amounts of data that's streaming in all the time. You've got traffic coming in from your web logs. You've got flight data coming in for who's delayed and who's not. You've got the frequent flyer account activity, massive amounts of data that are changing all the time. And if you try to use a traditional ESP to use that kind of data in an email marketing application, it's very, very challenging to push all of that data to your ESP and be able to use it. So what winds up happening is lots of compromises are made, and the data is often old. There's a lot of data that's missing. So by splitting the application in half, putting the marketing application on premise, our customers are able to tap into their data directly, eliminating the need to duplicate the data, which solves a lot of headaches for marketers.
Well, I'm thinking proactive and reactive, marketing as well as customer service. I mean, you mentioned a couple of things like, for example, flights arriving late. I mean, I wouldn't think of that as necessarily something that an e-marketer would do in a primitive sense, but I think in a more sophisticated marketplace, the travelers would be pinged by the system in some way that would let them know it was running late?
Well, it could be that. That would be an example of transactional email where, an event might trigger an email campaign to go out. It could be operational in nature, but there's always opportunities for branding and marketing, so we find that more and more marketers want to get plugged in and have some control over the content, the look and feel of even transactional messages. But I'm also talking about ad hoc campaigns where maybe a large number of flights were delayed on a given day, and maybe the marketing team wants to offer some kind of coupon or some kind of discount. We apologize for the inconvenience. Being able to tap directly into a data warehouse that has all the flight status information and where they could target customers in that way would be an example of what you could do with big data that would be really extremely difficult to do kind of using a traditional email marketing tool.
Now, I'm guessing it's not a plug and play. There's obviously some engagement that has to occur where the system and the process is established so that you'd have that ability to be able to react so effectively the way you're talking?
Well, it is in many respects plug and play. I mean, you're plugging the application because there's no email servers to install on premise.
Okay,
the software itself can be installed pretty quickly and can be plugged into any number of databases behind safely and securely behind a company's firewall. Once that the marketing application or marketing app is connected to the various database, it really is almost like a data mining tool. You're able to connect to your databases and run ad hoc queries in order to pull back lists of recipients to mail to. So in that sense, it is very much plug and play.
Now, obviously, cloud-based means scalability, so that means that you can deal with ideally a small or medium-sized enterprise all the way up to a gargantuan global operation.
Exactly, yeah. So all the heavy lifting of email marketing, the stuff that no one wants to have on-premise, we've left in our cloud. So all the email servers, all the relationships with the various ISPs, making sure that you're getting good inbox performance, monitoring the reputation of all the IP addresses that send email, all of that's done in our cloud, and we can scale that massively on demand. We're only a 4-year-old company, so we were built natively in the cloud. We take advantage of Amazon's elastic scalability capabilities, and so we're well equipped to be massively scalable and highly available on the cloud side, and then the on-premise component we've already talked about. So yeah.
Well, I guess the word disruptive gets used so much that I think it almost gets to the point where it's hyperbolistic, but what you're describing is pretty strong. I'm thinking from a competitive standpoint, having the hybrid versus not having the hybrid would be, I guess, described as disruptive to an enterprise. Talk a little bit about, is it, to the enterprise email marketing space disruptive to have this capability?
I believe it is. I mean, for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've already talked about being able to leverage your big data, which I believe would be extremely challenging to do in kind of a traditional SaaS model, just because moving all that massive amount of data and keeping it in sync is just prohibitively expensive and in many respects not even practical. The other side of things, because it's a more efficient model, there's not all this data duplication going on, and I would imagine that storing data is a significant portion of the expense that an email service provider incurs on a monthly basis. Because we're not replicating that data and we're not attempting to store all of the data for our customers, it eliminates a lot of the expense, and therefore we're able to provide a much more efficient solution to our customers. So it's disruptive on being able to use your data for segmentation, even for personalization, but it's also disruptive in that it's a lower cost solution. The total cost of ownership is going to be much less with our solution.
Now, I'm guessing as the cloud continues to get more and more complex, more sophisticated, predictive analytics are becoming commonplace. You've got even cognitive computing and those kind of things that once were almost scientific, sci-fi kind of like, that are realistically driving plants now. Is there a future in terms of, say, predictive analytics dealing with data-driven marketing?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of statistics that we capture, almost like web analytics, that are captured for email messages. So, delivery rates and who's opening, who's clicking, even the location based on the IP address of the user. So we collect all of that data, and we're actually using a service provided by Amazon called Redshift, which is data warehousing in the cloud. So we're able to capture a massive amount of data and retain that for long periods of time.
Okay.
And because we're capturing all that data, being able to use that data for remarketing or targeting is a big part of the value proposition and a big part of our plans moving forward.
And I guess probably as we narrow down to the close of the conversation, talk about some unique selling propositions. I mean, you've explained the hybrid, but is it, it's certainly, well, I'm guessing not proprietary, although the formulation may be in terms of applying it in the way that you're doing it, but maybe get a little bit into MessageGears themselves and the solution itself and the impact it's created.
Yeah, maybe I can give you some examples of how our customers are using the solution, and that might...
that'll help clarify. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have a daily deal customer called DigiStrive, which is a partner with AAA, the Auto Club, who's got 50 million members, and they provide, the daily deals is kind of almost a dirty word these days, but they provide daily offers, discounts to club members of AAA. And they're sending millions of emails a day, and they're sending emails every single day. So in order to do that, there has to be a high degree of automation. So what our hybrid models allow them to do is to plug into their own internal membership databases, to plug into their e-commerce platform, to pull out the content of the deals they're offering every day, and to match the best deal to each individual recipient and put those campaigns on autopilot. So now they're not having to curate content, manually create content for their email programs every day, and they're doing these mailings for probably 45 different clubs around North America. They've integrated us into their e-commerce platform for the content and their recipient databases so that these campaigns virtually run on autopilot, and they're sending out millions of emails every day. So that's the kind of thing you can do when you've got the on-premise capability to be able to plug into your database. There's no data synchronization needed. They've just tapped directly into data that already exists within their organization.
So obviously the evolution does play something in the mix of, I mentioned cognitive computers and the whole concept of this predictive evolution, being able to identify reaction rather than, or pro-action rather than reaction, and that the emails would obviously be in sync with that type of data. Certainly possible, if not already being done.
It's certainly possible. I mean, I would consider our platform a personalization tool in the sense that you can implement personalization the way you want to, and it's primarily an integration tool as well. So we are not, our desire is not to be the center of our customers' universe. Our desire is to plug into our existing CRM systems or data warehouses that our customers have already made significant investments in, and be able to leverage that data and kind of the decisioning and the rules that have been put in place by our customers. So we're just allowing them to use that data to deliver personalized messages in a very scalable, efficient manner.
Although you described it, I think, pretty well, and I think obviously our listeners understand. One last question I'm going to pose, and it's something that I'm always curious about. When you're dealing with disruption, when you're dealing with innovation, I think a lot of times the customer doesn't even know he has a problem or doesn't realize there's a solution to it,
Right.
And I guess where I'm going is, how would I know I need you versus just a traditional email marketing service?
Well, yeah, education is probably one of our biggest sales and marketing challenges, is just letting people know that there is a different way, a better way to do things. And so that is a big challenge of ours, just from an education standpoint. But the way you would know is if you feel like you're having to make compromises in the offers that you're making to your customers. So if you're frustrated that you don't have access to all the data that you need in order to run your email programs, you're spending way too much time duplicating and copying data around, or too much time testing content because it's not integrated into your content management system or your web content management system. I think a lot of marketers out there just think that's just how you do email marketing, and there's not a better way to do that. And so again, it comes down to educating customers that there is a better way to do it.
Well, obviously you're doing something right. There's a lot of success on that bottom line, and that constitutes, I think that's probably the best award, although the other side of it is having peer recognition, and it would be remiss if we didn't bring out the fact that you're one of TAG's top 40 innovative companies in Georgia, which hopefully had gotten you some recognition and notoriety in terms of that education challenge and getting the information out. Obviously, there were a lot of judges and competition that felt that you did have a better solution, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Dan, it sounds great. Really going to be fun watching you grow. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to join us today on Tech Talk.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.